just needed a stick and make it hard, that's all.
I'm not pumping the agents all the time.
Maybe the best invention in the history of mankind was gel. It's beautiful.
Here he is, one half of Donnie and Dolly, the team, weekdays on Czech television from 10 to noon. It's our Friday regular Canucks insider, Mr. Rick Dhaliwal. How we doing, Dolly?
Couldn't be better. I don't understand the cold weather, guys. When are we going to turn the corner? I want to golf. I want to golf 7 days a week like Sekeres, but right now I can't.
Are you able to golf yet? Or is your health back in order, Rick? Yeah, how's your shoulder and
listen, I had a neck strain, and then yesterday I pulled a muscle in my back. Something's going on, but I'm pulling these muscles, and I don't understand how I'm doing it. You know, back in the day, you would know why you pulled a muscle, but now they're just secretly, I'm pulling muscles, but I don't know what's causing the pulling of the muscle. A lot of 8-3-5.
I'll bite. How did you know back in the day why you pulled a muscle and don't now?
You were more active, Matt. Give your head a shake. You went for a run. Okay. You played ball hockey or you something. You feel the muscle pull. Now, when you get over 50,
right.
And my best friend in the world is 8-5-3-5 rub.
Not hair gel.
Good news is we have a new drop for our intros.
There you go.
Well, only when you turn 50, it's 8-5-3-5 is your best friend.
God, I hope they're a sponsor, Rick. Quickly on Noah Juulsen, whose status has changed, then I want to get on to Pettersson's contract.
Yeah, well, so he just cleared waivers, Noah Juulsen, but also something significant happened with him. He was an RFA with Arbrights, but he's now become a Group 6 UFA. So any player 25 years or older with 3 years played, but less than 80 NHL games played on an expiring contract is an RFA. But if he didn't get injured, guys, he would have likely passed 80 games, and it would have been an RFA. But now he's a UFA, so it's a big thing for me because he's gone from club control to now player controlled. He's a UFA, so we'll see where it goes. The Canucks like this player a lot, and I think he did really well when he came up. He played with Quinn Hughes a lot, guys, before he got hurt. And I remember Tocchet saying we like him, and I remember, more importantly, Quinn Hughes saying I like playing with him. So, anyways, we'll monitor that. But Noah Juulsen has gone from RFA with Arbrights to be Group 6 UFA.
But he did clear waivers, and Christian Wolanin is now on waivers.
Yeah.
First team AHL All-Star, too, for the purpose of going down to Abbotsford and helping in their playoff run. He'll probably clear as well because the Canucks signed him to that extension 2 years with a $775 NHL cap and good AHL money, too. So we anticipate he'll clear as well. Okay, Elias, he is eligible for a contract extension this summer. What are you hearing?
Well, it's going to be the biggest story starting on July 1st because the Canucks and his agents, Pettersson and JP Barry, can start talking. Hey, look, as of right now, everybody wants to get this done. Pettersson has said he's okay. When the want and the desire is there from the player and the agents, Pettersson and JP Barry have both been on our show, and they both said we will talk to the Canucks on July 1st about a contract for Elias. The only concern I have is what happened with Matthew Tkachuk in Calgary. You remember he signed that 3-year deal, just like Pettersson, but he signed in 2019, then he walked away to Florida. Tkachuk had a QO of $9 million, and he could have accepted a 1-year QO and be a UFA this summer. They spoke about his future extension in the aftermath of the Gaudreau departure, and he said he preferred to be moved. There's always, risk. If you don't do it this summer, there's always risk as you get closer to that RFA qualifying date. But anyways, I talked to some agents this week, and I just, not JP Barry or Pettersson, but others who would know what numbers for a player like Elias Pettersson would look like. If you want to go 3 years, somewhere in the $9.5 million per, 4 times 10, you could do 5+ years. Obviously, is going to be higher, and it's around $10 million. Most think that 10.5 is fair. For Pettersson. These are just people spitballing, right? That's around the Mitch Marner territory. Mitch Marner, by the way, when Mitch Marner finished his entry-level deal and Elias was going. I remember Elias's first agent telling me that, Mitch Marner was going to be comparable for him in his first entry level, coming out of the entry level deal. So Mitch Marner comparables have always been there for Elias. But the want and the desire, as long as the want and the desire is there from the players and the agents and the team, they'll get it done. And obviously him getting 100 points helps JP and Pat out quite a bit. He's, we had Craig Button on, called him a superstar. Craig Button said he's going to give Pettersson some Selke votes in the top 5. So he's rounded out his game. He works hard at both ends of the rink. And, of course, 100 points is 100 points, guys. That's a lot. Good for him.
He had a 94-point season, too, Marner did. Now, he was coming off an ELC versus a bridge deal, which is what Elias Pettersson's coming off of. But, I mean, can you imagine a world? Like, the Canucks' motivation here, Rick, has to be a 6, 7, or 8-year deal. Like, they can't be thinking there's a positive outlook with a 3-year deal, can they?
And let me tell you something else, guys. And we're going to have to go back to the previous regime. When they were talking to Hughes and Pettersson, J.P. Barry told them at the time, let's do a long-term deal. And they didn't have the cap space. If they would have had the cap space, we wouldn't be in this situation with Pettersson. He would have 6 more years like Hughes. But because the previous regime didn't have the cap space at the time, and JP had said, he had come on our show and said they don't have the cap space to do Pettersson long term. Just imagine if they had the cap space, they wouldn't be having to redo Elias after 3 years, guys.
Yeah. No, and quite right. He succeeded Marner in points. He, as you say, Blake, is coming off a bridge, not entry level. And, the other thing is outside of next year, we're anticipating some pretty good jumps in the cap going forward. So
that's it. The cap is going to help.
Oh, wow. So, Brisson and Barry are in great position here to negotiate with a Vancouver Canucks scheme that absolutely has to re-sign him. And,
unlike the Matthew Tkachuk deal, though, guys, like Matthew Tkachuk saw Johnny Gaudreau leaving. How many other superstars did he see on his roster, like true superstars? Elias Pettersson can see Kuzmenko, can see Quinn Hughes, it can see a guy who got 99 points last year in JT Miller. To me, that's whether that's an enticement or not, that's a better debate. But
Blake, let me set up a scenario for you. I don't care about the offense on the Canucks. If I'm Elias Pettersson, you've heard Brock Boeser complain about the losing in the city. You've heard Hughes say, I want to play on a winner. You've seen Depko say, look, if they don't do this guy this summer, Pettersson, and they get off to a slow start, and they're out of it by Christmas time. Like last 3 years, they've been. One of my biggest 3 keys for the Canucks next year is get off to a freaking good start. Every year they're out by Christmas. If he doesn't have a contract and they're out of it by Christmas again, you got to show him. You got to show him that we're turning the corner and we're going to win someday. So you got to show him that there's a glimmer of hope in the way. I'm not going to lose if I'll sign with you guys for 6-7 years, but it better not be like the last 6-7 years of losing.
Also,
right?
guys, what are the chances Ricky?
What are the chances he didn't hear the Horvat quotes? Like that got back to him. And what do you bet that it rattled through his brain? God, I can't let that be me. I can't let that be me. I can't have 9 years go by and I'm in that position.
Well, and that's the big thing here, guys. Like we talk about how the Canucks have to do a 6, 7, 8 year deal here with him. And but does he want to do a 6, 7, 8 year deal? Now there's two schools.
Hey, hold it. I got to give Pettersson credit. He's saying all the right things, and his agents are saying all the right things. So,
we'll see what he says tomorrow, though, Rick. Tomorrow is a big test, I think, of this. How warm and fuzzy does he feel about the organization? How much confidence does he have in them to build remember what he said several years ago in Sweden, a consistent team, a team that is able to play to compete for a Stanley Cup championship year after year, not just get to the playoffs. He's more aspirational.
Yeah, that's if I was the Canucks, I wouldn't wait till next year to do this guy. I'd do it this summer. Because if you get out to a slow start again and you're out of it by Christmas, that poor kid is going to start thinking, get it done this summer. Just write the check, cut the check.
Especially given how many guys you've prioritized over 2 regimes over him. Yeah. Right.
And here's another one for you guys. He's on his 3rd coach in the last, year and a half, 2 years?
Yeah.
You know what? These guys are sick and tired of seeing new coaches too. They want stability. They want winning. Everyone wants to play on a winner.
Right.
And these guys have not done a ton of winning. in the last few years, and it grows on you. But right now, I'm going to say to you, the agents and Elias and the Canucks, they're all saying the right things. I think the Canucks should get this done if they're really smart this summer.
Ricky, they've said it for almost 2 years now, 2 seasons. They're going to fix the cap, clear out some cap space, and they have done nothing but just add to their financial obligations. What are you hearing in terms of their plans to fix the cap and clear some cap space?
Clear cap space, you can do that with buyouts, right, guys? Or you can attach a sweetener to a bad contract and get rid of it. I'm just not hearing. Okay, so look, Holtby's coming off the books, right? Virtanen's coming off. Furlan's coming off. Luongo's off. So the owners finally got some relief. Look, buyouts are all about the owner. I don't think if I was the owner, if you guys owned a business and had to give an employee free money for not working, that's not, a business can't survive that. Buyouts are, okay, they're there, but, you got to have a good owner willing to buy people out. OELs, I'm just hearing more and more that, buyouts is not the number one option. I don't. Okay.
It never is at this time of year, Rick. It never is at this time of year.
Things change. Things change. I'm not going to. Yeah, you're right. Things change. But I don't think buyout's going to be the number one prerogative for them. I think. But if you want to get, are you going to put a sweetener together? They just gave up a first and a second for Hronek, right? So the previous regime gave away so many first and seconds. You gave up a ton for Hronek. Are you really in a position to give up another first in a draft?
Can I ask an uncomfortable question here, guys? Can I ask an uncomfortable question? They just won their way to probably the 11th pick overall in the draft. Yeah. What are the chances that they look at that and go, well, it's only the 11th pick. Why don't we trade it?
No. To get rid of bad money?
Yeah.
And I'd be with you on that if you could, but OEL is still unmovable in that scenario.
OEL, listen, the Canucks, if they were smart, would play OEL for 2 more years and then do the buyout. It's way less.
No.
Way less the headache. I mean, if you were the owner of the Canucks, would you buy out OEL knowing it's an 8 hit?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
He's pro.
Yeah, it's a $7 million savings next year in one fell swoop.
You're okay with 8 years of pain?
No, it's not 8 years of pain, though. That's the thing. It's several years of cap savings. Yes, you're paying him not to play, but you greenlit what was maybe the dumbest deal of this NHL decade. So time to pay the piper on that. With regards to dead money, you're quite right about who's coming off the books, but guys, you tell me, Tanner Pearson, Tucker Poolman, I combined $6 million. They're at least going to be on LTIR next year, right?
Yeah.
Tanner, even if it's not quote unquote dead money bought out. So,
just quickly on Tanner Pearson, they won't know on him for a while.
Nope. Fair.
So it's going to take.
And you can't buy him out if he's hurt. That's not a buyout candidate.
Yeah, and Tanner, let me say this about Tanner Pearson. Poor guy. Yeah. What he's going through is just unheard of, and you really feel for him. But they're not going to know about his status for next year or his future in hockey for a while. So I do want to say something on Tucker Poolman. When I checked in on him this week, I did hear. I mean, maybe we get an update from the Canucks, but hearing he really wants to play next year and doesn't want to retire. He's had concussion, whiplash issues. This guy's seen a ton of doctors. You wish him the best, too. He's been through a lot. Yeah. But, as of now, I'm hearing he still wants to play. But we got to monitor that as well going into the summer as well.
Yeah. He's not played a lot of hockey recently. Wow.
Yeah. What else, Ricky?
Let me get in a couple of things here. Kravtsov. 16 games, 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points. Healthy scratch last 2 games. My biggest question with Kravtsov, are the Canucks going to qualify him? This is a hockey club, the Canucks, that are counting every penny because of the cap issues. So are you going to commit to Kravtsov if he's not going to be an everyday player next year? You've had a little peek and a look at him. So I'm going to be really interested to see if the Canucks qualify him. Looking ahead,
Travis Dermott too, right, Ricky? Yeah,
Yeah, he's an RFA. Travis Dermott's another guy for sure that I want to see what happens with him. Kyle Burroughs. Let me say this about Kyle Burroughs, guys. Last night he takes on a guy 6'5". He's 5'11".
Yeah.
What he did last night, you can't buy that at the hockey shop. That's all heart. The kid from Langley, they haven't talked to his agent, Ross Gurney, yet. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe, I'm going to guess, maybe they know that maybe they got a shot at bringing Luke Shen back. I don't know. But Kyle Burroughs, he's 5'11". He takes on a guy last night, 6'5", sticking up for teammates. Nobody sticks up for teammates on this team like Kyle Burroughs. It's character. You know, hockey, you go do some research on the Bantam draft in the Western Hockey League and see how many times a GM or a scout uses the word character. Well, you know who's got character? Kyle Burroughs. But I don't know what's going to happen there. He's a UFA. We'll keep an eye on him throughout the summer as well. Ethan Bear, they're starting to talk to him again. He's an RFA. So there's a lot of contractual things going on with the Canucks. The other one I want to talk to you guys about is Podkolzin, 4 goals in 39 games. Look, he's going to be 22 next year, guys. He needs a big year. He needs a big year. He needs a big summer. Rick Tocchet keeps talking about summers. This guy needs a big summer. This guy needs a big summer. Podkolzin needs a big summer. Hoglander, Rathbone, I wasn't happy with their development this year. So those two guys, we'll see what happens over the course of the summer in training camp with those two guys.
Do we know the status of Podkolzin right now? Is he going to be playing in the playoffs?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I haven't looked. He was on this road trip, was he not? I think I saw him in the dressing room area. But anyways, that's a good question. I'll look into that. Blake, have not looked into that yet. Okay. But they do have him on the American League roster.
Yes, he's available.
By the way, the Abbotsford Canucks home ice, great for them. By the way, the Canucks, really good work on the NCAA front with all these signings. Hiroshi, 10 teams in on him. McWard, 6 teams in on him. I'm going to tell you something else. Scott Young, they got from Pittsburgh, played a big role in McEwen and Hiroshi coming to Vancouver. These guys did some good work on the NCAA front, and those NCAA guys, they're closer to pro than the 6th round pick at the age of 17, right? So you get them right into the American League system. Hiroshi's obviously looked good at the NHL level. I know it's a small window, and I know it's meaningless games. I know all that stuff, but I want to see him at training camp and see if he can get a spot on the opening night roster.
McDonough, I think you mean.
Aidan McDonough, the guy that you two for a year and a half.
No.
He's not coming here. Oh, he's not coming here. And he came here. You guys were, you know what?
No.
A year and a half, both of you. No. What do you?
I'm just saying. You said McEwen.
Yes, I do.
You meant
yes,
McDonough.
You were both ripping McDonough. Oh, he didn't sign. He signed.
Don't both me. Just because my name's on the same sign as him, don't both me.
It was both of you. I got the tapes. The Henderson.
You got the tapes. You don't for a second have the tapes. You know you don't have the tapes.
You don't
but
have
you have
the
a
tapes.
Great weekend, Rick Dhaliwal. And we look forward to getting you back on the golf course. In fact, I want to play Don and you versus Blake and me in a challenge match at Whistler Golf Club. How's it sound?
I'll tell you one thing. If Don and I took you two on, it would be one. The price would come up with so much bitching and whining and complaining. It'd be 18 holes of you did this wrong. You did this wrong. I'm not.
There are rules to golf.
Yeah,
correct.
There are rules.
For years, Price. I know the rules, but you're the type of guy who went to Harvard. You kicked the ball. Oh, you moved
the kicked the ball. Oh, I kicked the ball.
Yeah. Can't do that.
Yeah. You can't kick the ball.
Yeah.
Correct.
Can't kick balls. Not in that sport. In other sports.
So good.
You're the best, Ricky. Thank you.
Adios.